I've always been aware of slavery. I'm ashamed to say I don't think I have done that much thinking on it. I don't think I've ever sat there and really thought about it until this project and until Black Lives Matter as well, I think. It's really been highlighted and actually given us space to really delve into the deep facts that need to be spoken about.
I personally wrote a piece that was about basically coming from somebody like me in this city who was brought up in a time during the 1980s and early 90s when we weren't taught anything about our history as black and minority ethnic people in this country.
There were so many things that I didn't know about, like buildings around me, street names, where they came from, the history behind them.
And I wanted to bring out the story of this black boy. Who was he? Where did he come from? What happened to his family? What were his dreams?
Here I am, again. But I'll come back later to tell you my story.
And there was kind of two things going on for me, because I was learning about the history of what had happened, but I was also in like a very strange space, because I was walking where I walk all the time, but I was kind of with strangers who were learning about this for the first time, as well as me, but having a sort of completely different experience or maybe a different reaction to it, even though they were still sad and shocked like me.
You walk the streets and occasionally you'll look up or look around and notice a blue sign somewhere, and you pay little attention to that, but in every corner on practically every street there is something that relates this city back to the slave trade, and it opened my eyes really. I knew there was a lot of the information there, but the depth and wealth and breadth of information was astounding.
Every empire has an idea of its own exceptionalism. This is nothing new. And that means that we think we're special and we teach our people that they're special, and this gives us a right to go to other places and exploit the people there, use their labour, exploit their wealth, whatever that might be, dig up their minerals, take whatever silks and spices they have and use them. How do you know what's driving you? You don't understand why we think the way we think. Why we think, even if it's unconsciously, that we're better than other people or that we're special somehow. We're not. Nobody's special. We're all the same. We're all special. And nobody's special. So it's really important. You have to understand what makes you who you are, where you're coming from. So I wrote a response to how we feel with regard to that situation, how we need to educate ourselves. And when we, as I said, kill those lies, we become stronger in our minds and in our sense of mission and purpose.
The clue, I think, is in the writing a little bit, which is that I want you to listen to the streets. And that's why I called it Whispers, because I really wanted people to just take a moment in their day and just observe, or just take a moment to see and listen to where you live. It's a way of asking questions. That's what my piece is. It's just asking questions.
I think it's really important for people from the city and from further afield to know more, to understand how the city developed, to understand how different communities contributed to the development of this city, again, over its long history. I think it's important to give people a sense of ownership and make them feel that they have contributed to this city. It's their home, not just because they live here, but because their ancestors also contributed to its development in terms of its built architecture, its important institutions, etc.
You've got to look at who's telling the story and whose perspective is being shown and what narrative is being pushed. The piece that I wrote, it's based on how I felt when I went on the tour, and it's a direct response to how I felt as an audience member, learning and hearing about our history and the parallel to what is happening now in real life with black people and how we're treated and how we're viewed in society.
This is not history. We are not the same, and not because I don't believe that you will like me, but because you can never feel all this like me.
And if I tell you how I feel, suddenly you don't like me. This is not history. This is where we live. And the same things that shock you about the past are staring you in the face.
I never wanted to become a story. Never wanted to be in the newspaper. I just wanted to be at home with my family. Business. It's just business, he was saying.
My eyes are wide and I'm inspired. This journey's tiring, but it's mine. I see these falling doors are open, exposed mountains beg me climb. And if I only rise up one more tiny step each day, that's fine. Just hold the line, stay side by side and get up, stand up for your rights.
And as you begin to traipse through the city streets, looking through the cracks, cobbles and stones, you hear their whispers, their names, their sounds, and you carry it forward and you shout it out loud. Hey me, hey me, hey me, my money down. Pay me or you go to jail. Pay me my money down. Think I heard the captain say, pay me my money down. Tomorrow is sailing day. Pay me my money down.